Hey guys, how you going? Before we start, I have been pronouncing this wrong, so I do apologise, and a couple of other words. If I do, you can correct me in the comments. If we can keep it civil in the comments, that would be good. Most of you are really good. Thank you guys. There's just I think they're the odd fly-ins, that just happen to pick on every word you say. So, okay, what I was going to do here is go to Glamis Castle on Wikipedia, because I found something interesting in here as well. Mainly that it says it's open to the public, and that in fact it is closed for the foreseeable future, which I will show you now. It's closed now. It's closed for the foreseeable future. So, and it is apparently supposed to be open to the public. So I'm going to read this and hopefully I'll get the words right. Bear with me if I don't, guys. I'm just beginning here. And I also can only do a certain amount of research because I look after 2 kids. So if you can bear with me, I will try and it will get easier for me in about a month or 2, I think. I hope. I said that before. That I should be able to do more research. At the moment, I'm just trying to read what sometimes people either are too busy to read or just would like someone to read it to them. So I'll continue now, and thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Let's start this. Okay, Glamis Castle. Glamis Castle is situated beside the village of Glamis in Angus, Scotland. It is the home of the Earl and Countess of Strathmore and Kinghorn and is open to the public, which we just seen is not for the foreseeable future. And there's a picture of it. Looks pretty dark and foreboding. The coordinates: 56.6203 degrees north, 3.0024 degrees west. Type AGCS. Site information open to the public? Yes. We realise it's not for the next week anyway. Condition: preserved. Site history: materials: stone. Glamis Castle has been the home of the Lion family since the 14th century, though the present building dates largely from the 17th century. Glamis was the childhood home of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, wife of King George VI. Their daughter, Princess Margaret, Countess of Snowdon, was born there. The castle... Snowdon? Interesting. The castle is protected as a Category A listed building, and the grounds are included on the Inventory of Gardens and Designed Landscapes in Scotland, the national listing of significant gardens. Setting: Glamis Castle. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like to live there, guys. Yeah, it looks a bit... I don't know. I don't need that much room. I don't see how anyone needs that much room. But anyway, that's just to each their own. Glamis is set in the broad and fertile lowland valley of Strathmore, near Forfar, county town of Angus, which lies between the Sidlaw Hills to the south and the Grampian Mountains to the north, approximately 20 kilometres, 12 miles inland from the North Sea. The estate surrounding the castle covers more than 57 square kilometres, 14,000 acres, and in addition to parks and gardens, produces several cash crops, including lumber and beef. There are 2 streams running through the estate, one of them the Glamis Burn. An arboretum overlooking Glamis Burn features trees from all over the world, many of them rare and several hundred years old. History: a lithograph of Glamis Castle created between 1847 and 1854. And I have a cat that's just gone nuts. He just bolted. Glamis Castle in the snow circa 1880. The vicinity of Glamis Castle has prehistoric traces. For example, a noted intricacy carved Pictish stone known as the Easey Stone was found in a creek bed at the nearby village of Easey. That's the back of the castle. And a rose, Glamis Castle. A rose was named after the Glamis Castle by the English rose grower David Austin. In 1034, King Malcolm II was murdered at Glamis, where there was a royal hunting lodge. I like how they felt the need to say that. In William Shakespeare's play Macbeth, 1603 to 06, the eponymous character resides at Glamis Castle, although the historical King Macbeth, d. 1057, had no connection to the castle. Sorry, there are some words I actually have never seen before, so sometimes pronouncing them takes a little bit of wrapping your mouth around the word. Sorry guys, I had to throw that one in. By 1372, a castle had been built at Glamis, since in that year it was granted by King Robert II to Sir John Lyon, Thane of Glamis, husband of the king's daughter. Glamis has remained in the Lyon, later Bowes-Lyon family since this time. The castle was rebuilt as an L-plan tower house in the early 15th century. The title Lord Glamis was created in 1445 for Sir Patrick Lyon, 1402 to 1459, grandson of Sir John Lyon, 6th Lord Glamis, married Janet Douglas, daughter of the Master of Angus, at a time when King James V was feuding with the Douglases. In December 1528, Janet was accused of treason for bringing supporters of the Earl of Angus to Edinburgh. She was then charged with poisoning her husband, Lord Glamis, who died on the 17th of September 1528. Eventually, she was accused of witchcraft and was burnt at the stake at Edinburgh on 17th of July 1537. James V subsequently seized Glamis, living there for some time. In 1543, Glamis was returned to John Lyon, 7th Lord Glamis. In 1606, Patrick Lyon, 9th Lord Glamis, was created Earl of Kinghorn. He began major works on the castle, commemorated by the inscription built by Patrick, Lord Glamis, and Dame Anna Murray on the central tower. The English architect Inigo Jones has traditionally been linked to the redesign of the castle, though Historic Scotland considers the King's master mason, William Shaw, a more likely candidate due to the traditional Scottish style of the architecture. During the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland, soldiers were garrisoned at Glamis. In 1670, Patrick Lyon, 3rd Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn, returned to the castle and found it uninhabitable. Restorations took place until 1689, including the creation of a major baroque garden. John Lyon, 9th Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn, succeeded in 1753, and in 1767 he married Mary Eleanor Bowes, heiress to a coal mining fortune. He set about improving the grounds on the castle in the picturesque style in the 1770s. The southwest wing was rebuilt after a fire in the early 19th century. In the 1920s, a huge fireplace from Gibbside, the Bowes-Lyon estate near Gateshead, was removed and placed in Glamis' billiard room. The fireplace displays the coat of arms of the Blakiston family. Gibbside heiress Elizabeth Blakiston had married Sir William Bowes. Several interiors, including the dining room, also date from the 18th and 19th centuries. In 1900, Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon was born, the youngest daughter of Claude Bowes-Lyon, 14th Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn, and his wife Cecilia, née Cavendish Bentnick. She spent much of her childhood at Glamis, which was used during the First World War as a military hospital. She was particularly instrumental in organising the rescue of the castle's contents during a serious fire on the 16th of September 1916. On 26th of April 1923, she married Prince Albert, Duke of York, second son of King George V at Westminster Abbey. Their second daughter, Princess Margaret, was born at Glamis Castle in 1930. Since 1987, an illustration of the castle has featured on the reverse side of £10 notes issued by the Royal Bank of Scotland. Glamis is currently the home of Simon Bowes-Lyon, 19th Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn, who succeeded to the earldom in 2016. Legends and Tales. The Monster of Glamis. The most famous legend connected with the castle is that of the Monster of Glamis, a hideously deformed child born to the family. Some accounts came from singer and composer Virginia Gabriel, who stayed at the castle in 1870. In the story, the monster was kept in the castle all his life and his suite of rooms bricked up after his death. Another monster is supposed to have dwelt in Loch Calder near the castle. An alternative version of the legend is that to every generation of the family, a vampire child is born and is walled up in that room. There is an old story that guests staying at Glamis once hung towels from the windows of every room in a bid to find the bricked-up suite of the monster. When they looked at it from outside, several windows were apparently towelless. The legend of the monster may have been inspired by the true story of the Ogilvies, somewhere in the 16-foot thick, 4.9 metre walls is the famous Room of Skulls, where the this word's going to trip me up. Ogilvie family, who sought protection from their enemies, the Lindsays, were walled up to die of starvation. Earl Beardy, or Beardi, depending on how you want me to say that. A legend tells of the 15th century Earl Beardi, who has been identified with both Alexander Lyon, 2nd Lord Glamis, died 1486, and with Alexander Lindsay, 4th Earl of Crawford, died 1453. Several versions exist, but they all involve Earl Beardi playing cards. However, it was the Sabbath, and either his hosts refused to play or a servant advised him to stop. Lord Beardi became so furious that he claimed that he would play until doomsday, or with the devil himself, depending on the version. A stranger then appears at the castle and joins Lord Beardi in a game of cards. The stranger is identified with the devil, who takes Earl Beardi's soul and in some versions condemns the Earl to play cards until doomsday. And I don't know if you remember, but if you haven't seen it, go and watch Deception Bites video on this. She's got 3 parts to it so far, and she just goes into such detail that I couldn't possibly do, as I have a couple of children. So, but she's going really into detail on the Glamis Calling website into each post. She's trying to pull them apart, finding the dates, finding what happened around that time. So if you haven't seen it, go and see it. And also, between her or me, I can't remember who read it or if I heard it, but I think I read it. Do you remember when we were talking about, I was reading where Somerset Belanoff played cards with someone. She went and played cards with the adults and they were surprised, and she said that she played cards with someone else and that sometimes she beat the devil at cards. So anyway, I just found that interesting. Other traditions. According to the official website for Glamis Castle, in 1034, King Malcolm II was mortally wounded in a nearby battle and taken to a royal hunting lodge, which sat at the site of the present castle where he died. The late Sir David Bowes Lyon, while taking a late stroll on the lawn after dinner, reportedly saw a girl gripping the bars of a castle window and staring distractedly into the night. He was about to speak to her when she abruptly disappeared as if someone had torn her away from the window. That's interesting. Description. The towers in front of the castle each measure 7 metres, 23 foot. If you know about numbers and Freemasonry, this is going to ring quite interesting. In diameter, and are about 4 metres, 13 feet high, each having a modern parapet. The walls are 1 metre, 3 foot, 3 inches thick. There is a small chapel within the castle with seating for 46 people. The story given to visitors by castle tour guides states that one seat in the chapel is always reserved for the White Lady, supposedly a ghost which inhabits the castle, thought to be Janet Douglas, Lady Glamis. According to the guides, the chapel is still used regularly for family functions, but no one is allowed to sit in that seat. And do you remember one of those posts also said something about there was a seat for somebody which was apparently a ghost? Oh yeah, that doesn't look creepy at all at night, does it? Yep, feel free if you'd like to go and live in it. I'll agree to disagree with you. I wouldn't. That'd be more preferences than anything else. I would not like to live in this place. It looks horribly dark and dreary and foreboding. This one was taken on the 30th of May 2009. Archives. The clock tower houses the castle's archives, which include a wide range of historical material relating to the castle and the Bowes and Lyon families. These include a papal bull and the memoirs of Mary Eleanor Bowes. The Glamis archives have a close connection with the archives at the University of Dundee, and researchers who wish to consult material held in the Glamis Castle archive do so in the search room at the university. That would actually be interesting to go into. Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn is a title in the Peerage of Scotland and the Peerage of the United Kingdom. It was first created as Earl of Kinghorn in Peerage of Scotland in 1606 for Patrick Lyon. In 1677, the designation of the earldom changed to Strathmore and Kinghorn. A second earldom was bestowed upon the 14th Earl in the Peerage of the United Kingdom in 1937, leading him to being titled as the 14th and first Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn. Quarterly 1 and 4 Argent, a lion rampant azure, armed and languid gules with a double treasure flory counter flory of the second for lion. Excuse me if I'm saying this wrong, guys. and correct me if you know how to say it. 2 and 3 ermine, 3 bows, stringed palewise in fess proper, 4 bows. Okay, it just seems to go on about... Oh, there's the subsidiary titles. Viscount Lyon, Lord Lyron Glamis, Lord Glamis, Tandis Sidlaw, and Stratich Dikey. Yes, I'm not going to continue because I don't know how to say these. So, the eldest son of the Earl uses Lord Glamis as a courtesy title. Normally the highest subsidiary title, in this case Viscount Lyon, would be used, but Lord Glamis is used instead to prevent confusion with the Officer of Arms, Lord Lyon King of Arms. Who are these people? Okay, well, it does seem to go over a lot of the same stuff. Okay, guys, as I said, I will be doing some research, but it would take me longer to get a video to you. So I thought I would read this in the meantime, but I will try to actually do more research and see what I can come up with on this. So, okay, guys, let me know what you think below. And I just found some of that really interesting, especially the wording they used. It kind of connected back to the other sites that we were looking at. So I will keep going on this. I will try to do something different than other people are doing so that we can all kind of come at this from different angles and maybe put the pieces together. I'm hoping, and Deception Bites is doing a phenomenal job. And I think it's pronounced Zig. It's YIG. Is also just fantastic, doing a great job. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think below, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.